Going live. We are live from New York. It's Saturday. No, it's not. It's only Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday night. This is my dance. Welcome back, everyone, to Back When We Were Interesting, the podcast where we talk about the things that make us and you interesting. Hello, I am one of your two hosts. My name is Francis Fernandez, and right over there is the lovely and talented Shelly Russell. Hello, Shelly.
Hello, Francis.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's hump day. So, hey. our less than enthusiastic screams of elation. It's been a while. We're sorry to have missed you last week, but happy to see you on today. What's been going on the last couple of weeks?
So let's see. Well, I started a new job.
Oh, it happened.
It happened. Yeah. So I started a new job on Monday, and I'm doing both jobs, which is oh so exciting.
Yeah.
And let's see. That's the most exciting thing I think that has happened. I did go see Maze Runner last week, so that was cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty good. I mean, you know.
It's good stuff. Yeah, no, for sure.
The two-job thing, especially.
Yeah, you know, everybody wants to do two jobs, right?
Exactly.
And get paid for one.
I know, that's the worst part, is that you're only getting paid for one. But you know, I mean,
well,
again,
but you know, when you're paid salary, it's okay.
Oh, now you're just rubbing salt in the wound. No,
oh, please. Come on. Yeah,
well,
you know, folks, when you're working salary in a 24/7 kind of job,
yeah,
you know, it's the job, and it's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm climbing the corporate ladder, and right now I'm in the lateral moves of the corporate ladder, because sometimes you have to go across.
So you're pulling some gymnastics over there to get across.
Exactly. Yes.
So. Little cartwheel. So for those, you know, we recorded live a couple weeks ago, and now you can actually see her face, as she was covered in shadow a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry, I don't usually turn the lamp on in the living room, so you know.
What, and not give light to the wonderful mural behind you? I mean, come on.
I know. I mean, here, see, like, can anybody see that? See,
I don't think we've ever explained the mural.
Oh, so Nerd HQ in 2013. It's not really a mural. It's just a really huge canvas.
Yeah.
So Nerd HQ 2013, they commissioned this really awesome piece of art through a company called 11D. And 11D basically got all these famous geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call us, famous geeks and nerds into their studios to pose for this really cool Nerds versus Aliens canvas here. And so in all of its glory, it's got, you know, famous people like Stan Lee, Felicia Day, Nathan Fillion, Zach Levi, Grant Imahara, Chris Hardwick, Seth Green, Claire Grant, you know, on and on and on. Lots of really fabulous
Shelly
people.
In the background right there. Right. You can see Shelly like in the
yeah, in front of the canvas. Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, seriously, no, hold on 1 second, because the Stan Lee portion is just, I don't know if you guys can.
I can see. I see Nathan. I see.
Nathan's holding the flag. Stan Lee is in that like digger thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he's in a mech.
He is. He's like really cool. So, you know, so this was a print of the original painting that was done. It's all for Operation Smile.
Oh, very nice.
So this is a print, but it's numbered print 2 of 10.
Ooh.
It is 14 feet wide and 3 feet tall. I have a fabulous 22-foot wall in my house, so...
They wrote it in the books. They're like, have you seen Shelley's 22-foot wall?
The thing is, I am one of 10 people that bought this thing, plus the person that has the original autographed version. Mine is just signed by the lead artist, but there are 10 other people that have this thing, okay, in this size. So, not just me, 10 other people. And I will say I think mine has the most room on the wall around it compared to the other photos I've seen on Google Plus of other people.
It is very impressive, though. Either way, it's very impressive.
It's awesome. It's nerds fighting aliens. I mean, what is not awesome about that?
Not much. There's nothing more awesome than that.
I mean, the colors are fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's glorious, as my framer told me. It was just, these are my glorious nerds. So, yeah.
So, yeah.
But charity, okay? Charity.
Exactly.
So.
And, yeah, so this is really emphasizing the need to look at the video because then you get to see everything. If you're just listening to the audio, thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. But if you have a moment, go on to the YouTube. You still have to go to the Geek Love Radio YouTube page, but you get to see the lovely painting and all of its glory. Because you'll see Nathan pretty much the entire episode today because he's standing there yelling at you incessantly.
Yes. Well, no, he's leading the charge.
Oh, he's leading the charge, yes.
He's leading the charge.
Commanding.
He's commanding the nerd army.
Well, for me, though, it's been a dull week because, for those of you who know, I've been, like, falling apart the last couple weeks, and this week, no injury, no sickness, no illness. Oh, look.
Yay.
For those, again, introduce the level.
This is Cookie, and Cookie is a 13-year-old Pekingese poodle mix who felt the need to come say hi and get some kisses.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes. She's very loving. Hello, babe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that they go straight for the mouth. They know.
Yes.
They know.
She knows.
It's like...
She's very excited to be here.
And French, right? She's very French. Yes.
She got her hair cut, but yes.
Oh, lovely. Anyway, so as we digress into dog talk, because I don't have a dog to show off, I will show off my...
Sonic screwdriver?
Here's my little tiny one, my flashlight one. That's all I have. So technically I have 3. 2 10th Doctor ones and 1 11th. Okay. Oh, well, look at you. 10 doctors, huh? Yeah, sonic screwdrivers. So a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. It's, again, kind of out of the ordinary for us here at the Back When podcast. We're actually going to talk a little bit about time. But first off, we want to talk a little bit about Doctor Who because, well, we don't have much of a platform otherwise to talk about Doctor Who, and I want to talk about Doctor Who. So, Shelley, you are 1 episode behind. You haven't seen The Caretaker, correct?
I have not, yes.
Why don't you give me a little bit of your impressions? Well, let's start off with, when did you first start watching Doctor Who?
All right, so I used to watch it way back when, during the Colin Baker days, on PBS. Mm-hmm. And so I used to watch it pretty frequently, though I don't know that I watched it like serially, you know. I just, every time it came on, I would watch it, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And you know, I didn't, when the new BBC America stuff came out, I didn't really watch it with any serious frequency, but I decided to get caught up, I guess, like, I don't know, a couple years ago, and then I fell in love with Torchwood too. So yeah, totally love Torchwood. So
that dog is killing your mic.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually more of a Torchwood fan than I am a Doctor Who fan. Mm-hmm. I know some people will think that is a sacrilege of some sort, but
no. Well, Torchwood was so much more adult than Doctor Who. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's just it's a different level of humor.
Yeah.
I guess is the thing. And there's also a lot more drama in Torchwood, I think.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So, but I definitely I have enjoyed Doctor Who, and you know, this is the first season recently that I've actually started watching, like purposefully watching it and making sure that I'm recording it on my TiVo and catching up and seeing what's going on. I did see some of the specials. I saw the Day of the Doctor special. You know, I actually did go and I saw, was it the premiere?
Maybe.
I think I saw the premiere in the movie theater. Yeah.
Oh, you went to you saw episode 1.
Yeah, so I didn't see it the day it aired. I saw it like another day that week.
Wow. That's hardcore.
But that was cool. You know, it was fun. Well, yeah, you gotta go do things that give you opportunities to hang out with your fellow geeks, right? So.
Sure.
So that was cool. So I've been watching Doctor Who off and on for a very long time. Because I don't remember when Colin Baker was on. Like, you know, I don't know all the mythology, right? I'm not a hardcore Whovian in that I know all the mythology and the timing and, you know, all of that. But
so
I have always enjoyed Doctor Who.
Very cool. Yeah, so, okay. So you know that, well, then, of course, the big change happened. This season, they brought in Old Man Capaldi.
Yep.
And the fans flew away.
I'm actually kind of liking him.
Well, here's what happened. To my personal observation. So I went and saw Day of the Doctor in theaters. The 50th anniversary was, I think that was Day of the Doctor. Or was that Dawn or Night or whatever? Anyway, of the Doctor. I saw it in theaters, and the theater was packed, full of all ages, actually, you know, adult and young, and it was a sold-out theater, and unbelievable. I mean, the fandom was loud and blaring, and everyone was laughing and having a great time. Fast forward, like what, 6 months later, almost, maybe 8 months later, and I see the premiere of the new series, and it's half the crowd, and it's mostly adults. And it's like all of the younger people who really liked the babyface Matt Smith ran away.
Right.
At least what it looks like. And again, that's just from an observation of me going to the same theater 2 different times for kind of the same event. And it looks like it has
I think I liked David Tennant better than Matt Smith.
Yeah. Well, he's my first Doctor, so I like him best too.
and I enjoyed Christopher Eccleston, but I like David Tennant better.
Yeah.
But but my most memorable, like, you know, prior Doctor Who was Colin Baker.
Right.
But probably just because of the timing of it, right? So.
Right. And now with this one, it's very kind of controversial because he's an old man who doesn't have any romantic or relationship ties to the companion.
Yeah, but they haven't always. I mean, look at Christopher Eccleston and Donna, right?
I mean, Tennant and Donna. Yeah.
Tennant and Donna, yeah. I get so confused sometimes. See, this is a problem with having 12 different people play Doctor Who.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But that's kind of the first time they did it. Each time the companion was in love. You know, Rose was, Martha was, Amy was, and Clara was. Like every female, and they're all female. God forbid we have a male companion ever, you know. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a bit of a controversy.
What about the one that was on with the mother and son with K9?
Oh, you mean? Oh, yes. Sarah Jane was.
Yeah, Sarah Jane.
Yeah, was the Fourth Doctor's companion originally by herself.
Mm-hmm.
It was just her, and then she had her own spin-off show, the Sarah Jane Chronicles.
Sarah Jane Chronicles, or
yeah, where her son is now a part of it, and K9 was a part of it. But she was originally just her, and I want to say that she had her and the Fourth Doctor, I think, had romantic inklings. I'm not really sure. I didn't watch much of the Fourth Doctor, But that's, I didn't start until 2005, or not even then. I started, I think, 2 years after that, 3
Yeah,
years
I
after that.
started when I was young, very
Oh
young.
yeah, so you started off when it was showing on PBS.
Yeah,
So you were already into it at a fairly younger age. But
yeah.
I started old because everyone kept talking about this guy. I'm like, fine, whatever. And I started watching, and yes, I enjoy. But that leads, with all of that going on with Doctor Who and this whole, what are you thinking about that? How do you think about this? Having said you like Tennant as a Doctor and whatnot, how do you feel
I,
about this series so far, season so
I like Capaldi. I do.
far?
You know, I've read some comments where it's like, he's getting back to the way he's less human,
Mm-hmm.
more alien, which duh, he is.
Yeah.
Like duh. Uh, right? I mean,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
that's part of the point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's interesting. I do actually enjoy the dynamic between him and Clara.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I am enjoying it, and I like how he screws with her because it's pretty funny.
Yes.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, it's weird that their relationship has changed so much.
it has, but yet there's still some callbacks to the fact that they know each other so well,
Yeah.
and I like it. It's a nice switch up. It's
Mm-hmm.
different, and I mean, it's always good to have something a little bit different.
Yeah, it is, and to me, I
We
like
got
it.
to
I
keep
don't.
it fresh.
Yeah, I just hate Moffat as a writer. Still, I mean, I completely I had no interest with the Matt Smith era. I actually can't remember anything that happened in his storyline, so it's almost like it never happened to me.
Yeah, so I've not followed it so closely to notice the difference, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm not, like I'm not, oh, Stephen Moffat sucks. You know, I, I don't have any problems with it. It
Well, that's
seems to
good.
be going fine for me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think I've ever seen a Who I hated.
Oh, really?
Like an episode that I hated or anything like that.
That's true. I guess I haven't. There's ones I don't like, but there's certainly ones I've never passionately hated. There's characters I've passionately hated. Like there's a character that's on the show now that I have an unbridled hate for, which is Danny Pink.
You don't like Danny Pink?
Oh God, I hate that guy. Man, that guy is such a wuss, and he's so condescending, and he's he's so annoying.
He's all right. I mean, he's not like compelling.
No,
For
he's
sure.
boring. He's boring, and he's
Yeah.
one-dimensional, and he's just like my blood boils when I see him on screen. I'm like, I don't like you, sir. But okay, so with this whole Doctor Who business, one of the things that they have the ability to do, if anyone's familiar with the show, is they time travel, and that's where we're going to get a little different with the show. I kind of want to talk about eras in time that you're fascinated with, and if you had the ability to time travel, what century, decade, whatever, would you like to live in if you had the chance?
Oh, now see, for me,
Yes.
I am not interested at all in the past.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
I am more interested in the future, and so like we were talking briefly earlier about what shows I'm watching right now. I said I'm watching Outlander, but it's very unusual for me to be watching something like that because I cannot stand historical anything.
Really? Oh,
I
wow.
am
Okay.
always about future things only.
Okay.
And so I have, present or future, maybe recent past, like last 30 years occasionally, but not, last 30, 40 years, not beyond that. I could care less about things set in the 16, 17, 18, 1900s,
Sure. Okay. Okay.
So, it's unusual for me to be interested in Outlander, so when we talk about when would I like to travel to, it's more like I'd like to see what my future generations are or something like that.
Well, then how far in the future would you like to go?
Ooh, see, that's a tough one.
Ah.
Hmm. Well, so I mean, I wonder, is it a finite time period, or is it
Ooh, here we go.
really when we've gotten to, or is it more about milestones in our
Okay.
evolution?
Okay.
So is it when we've commercialized spaceflight to the point where and done some sort of colonization? Because I do think that will eventually happen.
Okay.
Where we're actually living out on other planets.
And this influences how far into the future you'd like to go then.
Right, right. So I would want to be able to see that.
Hmm.
So that could be thousands of years into the future, for all I know.
Oh, what? Really? You think with our current technological
We
breakthroughs, you
just
think it'd be
took a
thousands?
big backslide. So
When do we backstep? With what?
with the space program, we just
Oh,
took a
yeah.
huge backslide.
Well, it's privatized now, so technically we can
Yeah, but
hopefully.
it's still really expensive.
Right. Well, even if it wasn't privatized, it'd still be expensive. I mean, even if it was government run, it's
Yeah,
still an
but
expensive
yeah,
venture.
but when you're sharing the cost of it across the entire country,
Hmm.
it's a completely different story than when you're privatizing it and it's one or two people funding it.
Well, there is that what the Mars project where you get to all gather into one ship for 6 years or so, and then travel to Mars and colonize that place. You could always do that.
Do you really think that's going to happen?
I do. I actually do. Yeah.
So I think it's going to take longer than any of us had hoped. I mean, honestly, we all were looking towards flying cars and people actively living in the space station, not one or two people doing scientific experiments, by this point
Right.
in time. So I think
Well.
we're behind where we thought we would be.
Hmm.
And so I kind of feel like, do I really think it's going to be 1,000 years? No. Do
Hmm.
I think it's could possibly be 100? Yes.
Mm. Well, yeah. I mean, as a Star Trek fan for myself, I mean, I think we'll meet the Vulcans in the year 2100, so we're good to go.
There you
Or
go.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. There's our time, or there's our space travel,
Yeah.
warp drive technology.
Yeah. Warp drive technology. Exactly.
Uh, and that's interesting. So you're thinking then you want to be able to just see how far we can go. So why don't you just go to thousands of years into the future as opposed to just
Yeah,
like a couple hundred?
but at that point, will we be a completely unrecognizable race
It's funny.
or a species,
My dad
rather?
once told me when I was younger. He's like, because when you're semi-Asian like I am, you have a tendency to be religious, but he
Mhm.
doesn't. He's we're not going to get into that because oh man. But anyway, but despite that fact, he believes he tells me straight to my face. It's like what's going to happen. We're all going to be giant heads in tiny little bodies because we're all about thinking in the brain, and we're all about expanding our
Well,
minds and
you've seen
learning.
that stuff on the internet where they've said this is what we're going to be like, and where they had big eyes and stuff like that. Have you
Hmm.
seen those articles?
I have
There
not.
are articles where they have a theory of what people will look like in just like the next 10, 15, 25 years. Like
Will we be that vastly different in 25 years? I don't know about that.
I think it was not so far in the future. It was not like centuries for sure.
Hmm.
Um, so it's I don't know. It could be interesting. I mean, how different will people be at that point in time? I'm curious. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think I would want to travel to a time when we're unrecognizable.
Well, I think this is our final form. Personally, I think
This
this
is
is
it.
it. This is
This is
final
it.
form. Yeah, we are very efficient in this form. And not to say that we couldn't become more efficient in another form. We could evolve to something much more efficient as a
Well, I think it
species.
also depends on what happens from a climate perspective.
Oh, true. I
You have
mean,
to consider what happens on our planet as it is,
well,
or will we
yeah.
evolve to? adapt to whatever other planets we go to live on?
Well, I know that a lot of people are going to be tan. You know, they're all going to
Yeah, this is my tan.
be. That's your. Oh, well,
This
that's.
is my tan. Yes, I'm pretty pale.
Oh, you have
So
a watch tan.
I have a watch tan, see, so I'm not lying when I say this is my tan.
I miss my watch tan. I don't have one anymore. I miss my watch tan. That's nice. Good,
So
good
this
watch tan.
this is my tan. So guys, yeah. Clearly I have not adapted to to global warming.
Oh, yes. Apparently, yeah. You haven't caught because I want to say I read recently somewhere, even today, about a massive is it otters or walruses are flooding a beach somewhere in Alaska or something because they don't have any ice to kind of rest on, so they're attacking this one piece of land. It's like, wow, yeah,
That's
it
kind of
might
scary. Yeah.
35,000 walrus come ashore in Alaska because they can't find sea ice for resting in the Arctic waters.
Did they just
So
say walrus and not walruses and not
they
walleye?
actually, I wanted to be walry, the best. No, and not walrus.
Warriors of Latin. It's walrye.
Is it, oh, well,
I don't know if it actually is, but that's if it was Latin, that is how it would go.
they are actually saying the plural of walrus is walrus.
Just like deer and deer.
And deer. Yeah. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I don't know if I like that, actually. But there you go. You're absolutely right. Climate.
Because, plural of platypus is platypi.
Is it really? I thought that was a joke. I thought it really wasn't platypi.
I gotta look it up now, but I'm pretty sure,
You're.
I'm gonna go look. I'm like
That's what the
all about
internet
the
is
Google.
for.
Yes.
Go for it. Google. I'll
I'm
vamp
gonna
on you,
Google.
Okay.
All right.
You Google, I'll vamp. So yeah, it's funny because here I was thinking we're going to talk about the past when the future is actually very interesting, and everyone's as I like to call them, every person's going to be hybrid, of course. We're all crossbreeding. Oh, what?
Oh, okay. So, evidently,
Mhm.
well, according to Wikipedia, which, as we all know, is
100% accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, scientists generally use platypuses or simply platypus. Colloquially, the term platypi is also used for the plural, although this is technically incorrect in a form of pseudo-Latin. The correct Greek plural, which by the way is not Latin, so I don't know where they're getting
I know.
that.
Why'd they go from Latin to Greek? Okay.
Yeah. Would be platypodes.
Platypodes?
Podes.
Oh,
P-O-D-E-S.
podes.
I don't know.
Platypodes.
I gotta look at this under Merriam-Webster now because I'm
Yeah.
not real happy with that definition. You see now Merriam-Webster says also platypi.
Yeah, and you know what? Where did you? Well, of course, Merriam-Webster also says that selfie is a word. So.
Well, it is now.
It is, I guess. They have a whole show on it.
Okay. So origin of platypus is New Latin from Greek platypous. That's where it became platypodes. Platypous. Flat-footed from platus, broad, flat, and pous, P-O-U-S, foot. So it started with that, and that's why they say platypodes. But if it was in fact Latin, then it would be platypi.
If I only had the more you know sound effect right now, that'd be amazing.
I think you need that. Yeah.
I'm going to have to download it for sure.
Every day with Shelley is an adventure.
As I have learned, yes, every day is an adventure. Falling through the sky and zip lines and wielding samurai swords and ninja stars or whatever, or other sorts of weapons. As she, whoa, hello, things are moving around here.
Sorry.
What is going on?
I had to go back.
Shelley
I didn't know how to get back from my Google.
Shelley is making the world crazy.
So
anyway.
sorry. So sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So. And you're now that the light is on you, you're much more animated. Your hands are moving all over the place.
Oh, you can see them now.
Yes.
I'm sure I was doing those before. Guys, I'm not Italian to my knowledge, but
I like how butt and you went like this, like it's
the
this
hands.
big.
The hands.
Oh, right. Butt.
It's the
This
hands.
big. Yes.
Yeah. It's not about this big. It's just the hands.
Right. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I am
Okay, so-
very animated. Ask anybody I work with.
Yeah. Okay. Again, a reason to watch the show. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's funny because I brought this up thinking we'd be talking about the past. You're not into the past.
I'm not
which is
into the
fine.
past. Yeah.
You're into the future.
I am into the future.
Yes. When you get your DeLorean and you fly out there 15 years into the
Yeah,
future.
88 miles per hour.
Yeah. Hey, next year we'll have our flying cars, our hoverboards, and our self-lacing shoes. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. And our horror.
Self-lacing shoes, also known as Velcro.
Yeah, you know.
Just saying, you know.
You know what? I don't think do kids still use Velcro? I don't know. I don't have a child.
Yes.
They do?
Small children
Oh.
do still use Velcro.
Mhm.
For the ones that are not yet up to speed on the whole shoe tying thing.
Yeah, I never.
And also the really older adults that have trouble with the tying.
See, that's why Vans became my new best friend. Vans and Converse because they have the slip-on shoes. Just
Yes,
slip-on shoes.
I did have like Converse slip-on shoes. I never had Vans, but I had Converse slip-ons. Never had the high tops. Although I'm still confused by the whole newfangled concept of everybody calling them Converse All-Stars and not Chuck Taylors.
Well, you know, I wore a pair of. Okay, look, I don't know what shoes are called. I knew they were called Chucks. I understood that. But I wore a sort of Converse shoe, and I used to work for a group home, and the kids called it something completely different because I guess there's a basketball player who wears my shoes, and I had no idea what they were talking about. They're not Jordans. It was somebody else. I forget
Okay.
who it was, but I'm like, oh my god, there's too many names for shoes. Can I just call them Air Force Ones like Nelly did? Or was it Nelly? I don't remember who. Anyway, beside the point. I had something I was going to say, and I completely forgot. Thank you,
I didn't like the past. I only was interested in the future.
The only interesting future, exactly. But it's
Did
funny
that prompt help you at all?
it did because it comes back. Yes, because I was going to say Shelly is showing off as she had. If you watched the video, she was sipping from a Dunkin' Donut cup.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay because I'm going to share a quick story about
You
my
guys are
one
getting
adventure.
Dunkin' Donuts.
We have one in the nice part of Santa Monica. All the hipsters were there. It was very nice.
Okay.
I am a closet hipster because I love the way they dress. And there they are. Here we are. All are in line. Hour and a half, mind you, 1 hour and a half in line to get Dunkin' Donuts. The question then becomes, is it worth it? Well,
I'm
it
drinking
wasn't.
iced tea. So.
Oh, well, there you
like,
go. For me, we did it as a gift. It was a friend of ours' birthday. She didn't want to stay in line for the Dunkin' Donuts, so a friend and I decided to stand in line for her and get her. We got two of every donut they had in the store.
Okay. I mean, arguably, like Krispy Kreme might be better.
Oh, you are the first person to say this. You like Krispy Kreme better than Dunkin'.
It depends on what type of donut you want. So, like, I'm not gonna go to Krispy Kreme for a powdered donut with cream inside. But if I want a glazed donut, yes, I will likely go to Krispy Kreme. If we had one. We do not have them.
Oh. So how did you grace a Krispy Kreme then?
I went to college in Florida.
Oh, well, Florida has. That's weird. That is weird that they would have it there, but not where you are. Like,
I
why?
think we have I think you can buy Krispy Kreme packaged donuts here, but not like the fresh ones. I mean, and there's the cultural thing about Krispy Kreme with that the hot donut sign and
now.
that's just
You'll never understand the joy that is a hot now Krispy Kreme donut.
I mean, we also didn't have White Palace and Crystal. up here. We had them
like
down in Florida, but not up here.
Is that some type of cocaine or something? I don't know. What is that?
No. Oh, they're like sacks of burgers.
Oh.
Smaller burgers,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
White Castle.
White
And Crystal.
Castle. I'm
White
like, what are
Castle
you
and
talking
Crystal.
about?
Sorry, Crystal. But Crystal had similar types. So of sorry.
So you're and now you can see a dejected Shelley as she.
Oops.
Yes. We have when you
Yes, I'm screwed up in my head sometimes because they're not my favorite thing.
Right. Well, you haven't had In-N-Out. That's why. So.
And that's right, because we don't have that.
But wait a minute. You've been to San Diego Comic-Con. How have you not had a In-N-Out?
Because I really don't stray so far from the...
Oh, because you have a specific diet anyway.
I do have a specific diet, although I hear that you can get double animal style.
Yeah, well,
Is likely
Protein
my
style.
diet. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a protein style where it's the lettuce as the bun.
Yes. So that would be my gig.
Yeah. And then you get the I guess you would eat the fries then, huh? But the potato.
I eat potato, and
You eat
I will
potato?
eat fries occasionally, just not all the time.
Oh, well, you will enjoy. Okay, I don't know why we're talking about food. It always comes back to food. Yes.
I like food.
Yeah. Well, you like.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I like
No,
food.
it's all right. I do too. But you know what? Every podcast I do, I talk about food at some point or another, and I
So,
always
and it's the Dunkin' Donuts is what
started it all.
got us off track. But so anyway, we were talking about the past and the future, and
Yes. Oh, well, yeah, and the hour and a half line. Anyway, so that's why hour and a half
Yeah.
line. It was worth it. Love the coffee. Donuts are all right. Now,
okay.
see, I grew up on I Love Lucy. I grew up on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on a
Laverne
lot
and Shirley and Happy Days.
Yeah, Happy Days, things like that.
Mork for Mork.
Oh, of course, which we had our lovely. If you check out episode number 20 something, I forget what number it was.
Our Robin Williams retrospective.
Exactly. Yes. So, I mean, we talk a little bit about that. But you're right. I mean, we have a lot of these shows that really kind of idolize the past. So for the longest time, I still think, how cool would it be to live, during the heyday of the 50s or even before the big the Great Depression?
There were two past, set in the past shows that I enjoyed.
Sure.
One was Homefront.
Okay.
It was set during World War II. And
Okay.
right around the return of people from World War II.
Okay.
And the other one, I started watching that because of an actress that I liked that was on it. So, that just happened.
Okay. Sure.
It actually had a bunch of really good actors in it, so it was good. Homefront, Jessica Steen, John Slattery, good people. Anyway,
Okay.
Hey, people might want to go look it up, and
All right. Well,
Anyway,
It is
the
an
other one,
anthology.
China Beach.
is that like a World War movie? as
China
well?
Beach was a Vietnam movie.
Vietnam.
It was-
Oh, jeez.
Or a show. So, but it was kind of like a Vietnam era MASH,
Oh, okay.
but a little more dramatic.
Mm-hmm. So
Um,
you like you like so you're a fan of tragedy then?
Evidently.
is this what we're learning
Totally,
about Shelley
totally.
today? It's like as long as the TV show is set in the past and people are miserable, I am in it. No, really? Okay, so
Oh,
you like
no,
those
no,
eras?
It's
Okay.
not about misery. But I will say there was a lot of really cool humor. I do enjoy some of the 70s music. So, I mean, come
You're-
on. These
you're
boots were
disco
made
girl.
for walking.
Oh, right, Blondie, sure.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh wait, what did I say it wrong? Who is it?
Nancy Sinatra.
Nancy Sinatra, sure. I don't know who I was guessing. Sorry. Not my type
Blondie
of music.
was
I apologize.
early 80s.
Early 80s. Oh,
Early 80s. Although I do enjoy Blondie. Don't get me wrong.
sure.
Rapture is really funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but all right. See, again, I'm guessing.
Google
Sorry,
the
people,
song Rapture,
All right, I will look up Rapture.
Blondie.
Rapture Blondie.
It's so it's really talking about, rapture. right? Except
Sure.
it's really funny. So
Except it's really funny. Okay.
it's not. It's like yeah. You have to
Okay.
just listen to it, read the lyrics. It's funny.
All right. Oh.
I'm
Oh.
entertained by it anyway, so you know.
Oh. All right. It already starts off crazy. I'm not going to play it right now, but there you go. I'll watch it afterwards before we never get too into it. But yeah. Okay. So I watch a lot of old TV. You like apparently war era television. You even mentioned
Some of
MASH
them.
and some of them.
Some of them.
But I think, man, how great would it be to live in the kind of these eras where people were super just happy about everything. Life was simple. The only thing they had to worry about was, you know, whether Susie will go out to homecoming with them or whatever. Like that whole kind of
Like
it's a very.
Mayberry.
I watched Andy Griffith. Sure, sure. I mean, I have this kind of this hidden, not hidden, but something I don't talk about often is like I'd love to live in a small town. The only problem is, um, and this
Yeah,
is
been there,
I'm
done that.
well, not only that, but small towns usually consist of people who are not me. Let's just say that, okay? I think of eras that where I would actually not fit in. I think of
Okay.
decades where if I were to go back as myself, I would not necessarily be treated very well.
Yeah, so I would say that the town I grew up in, the town where I didn't grow up in town, I went to school in town because I
Mhm.
grew up in the suburban area around town.
Sure.
The town had 4 streets, so when I
Oh.
talk about town, tiny town,
One stoplight.
it was once Tree City, USA. Actually, in town there are no stoplights.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, just at the edge of town, yes, but
Mhm.
not in town. Um, and yeah, we had maybe like in the entire school of kindergarten through 8th grade, I think we might have had 3 black kids.
Yeah. See. Yeah. There you go.
And very white bread farmer town kind of town. So
And of course, television and movies kind of glamorize it and kind of make it much nicer than it really was. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, it doesn't make it any different. I still kind of idolize those eras. But again, I think back, and I'm like, oh, I look myself in the camera and I'm like, oh, look at me. I am. Well, no, no, I don't think I'll make it in that town. I don't know how well I'd be treated in that town, but
I think I
that
might be
is,
typecast.
I might be, yeah. I mean, you can't tell by my voice, but I'm not what you think I am. Anyway, I hate telling
You
that
do
story.
have a good radio voice, yeah,
Well,
for
yeah.
sure. Like it's a very no, it's definitely like it's like the trailer guy. You know, the movie trailer guy?
In a world, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have that kind of voice.
One man
I do not have
travels.
that kind of voice. And the fact that anybody listens to my voice, it boggles my mind. Because I don't like listening to my voice.
Oh, well, I'm with you. I don't like listening to my voice. I hate my
Well,
voice,
because
actually.
my voice is just so much deeper in my head.
That's actually the same reason I don't like my voice is because I sound so, amazing in my head, and then when I speak, it's like, oh my God, who's that guy talking?
Are
That's
you
not
Barry
me.
White in your head?
I am. Totally am. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so when I first started listening to my own voice, I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. I can't subject people to this, but people don't seem to object so much. So
and yet you keep coming back.
I do. I
Coming
keep
back for
coming
more.
back. So if you guys are still willing to listen to my impossibly irritatingly high-pitched voice, then, awesome. Because, I am kind of interesting. And this is all about being back when we were interesting. I'm kind of interesting. So,
Yes.
hey.
Yeah, no, kind of, no, very. Again, you have that whole mentality that very few people follow, which is living your life to the fullest. I'm gonna keep doing my voice lower and lower to
Barry.
emphasize the purpose of that. No, but seriously though, yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But and yes,
All right, so
blame first. Yes.
you enjoy these like
These
supposedly
glamorized
idyllic,
eras.
but see, I like the Munsters.
Which was also set at a time, that's early 50s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were, yeah, and in that
They
same
were
case.
not normal.
No, no. Much like Adam's Family, things like that, they were
Yeah,
very
yeah.
abnormal, and yet Herman had a job, so good for him. But he had that
Yeah.
voice, and he's very.
And
Anyway,
Marilyn
sorry.
was the outcast.
Well, only in her family was she the outcast. She wasn't the outcast anywhere
Yeah,
else.
but she
She was only an
didn't know
outcast in her
that.
family.
But
Yeah.
she didn't know that.
A la Twilight Zone. Ah, yes. Ooh, I don't know. Twilight Zone,
Oh
no?
yes. Oh, I know the episode you're talking about.
Yeah, with
Yes.
the
The pig
so
snout
face surgery.
chase.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, well, we're not going to
Yes.
explain any more other than that, because yeah, there you go. But
Yeah, because
as
you
you
gotta
can
watch it. Yeah.
exactly, and you know what's funny is there's nothing like that anymore on television. You're not going to find anything like Twilight Zone
I
anymore.
miss the Outer Limits.
Um, Outer Limits was fairly recent too, wasn't it? Outer Limits
It's
was
in the 80s, 90s
yeah,
maybe,
during the
90s.
X-Files era, I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
say, right?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that kind of twist of fate and that kind of very morally driven storylines and things like that. I mean, you know, I miss that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
I miss William Shatner pointing at a plane wing every once in a while because he needs to. If I ever see him, I'm gonna be like, "There's someone on the wing." never, never mind. Anyway, beside the point. Wow, we are digressing a lot, but that's okay because, as you can see, it's
But
that
we
it's
were
one of those.
talking about the shows that we were interested
Yeah,
in and the
and
types of what time periods will we be interested in.
but
So
look how
you're
happy. Yeah.
interested in like the older.
Yeah, I mean, look how happy people were in Happy Days. Look how happy people were. How it's not even happy, but how um I like simple joys. I'm very into the whole uh experience the emotion of things. You know, it's like, oh, that's a fun emotion to have for Gigan frogs, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's a word. And that whole Mayberry thing, like that's kind of cool, where you have this very small town and everyone knows your name, and they all drink at a bar where a guy named Sam serves you beer. You know, things like that. Uh,
Boston's not that small.
but it's like it's like seeing the tininess of these places and kind of that camaraderie. It's like when you're in the suburbs, you don't see that kind of stuff. Everyone kind of keeps to themselves. As a matter of fact, growing up in California, and I don't know how it's like where you are, but growing up in California, nobody's nice to anybody. You know, you kind of just keep to yourself. I
Yeah,
mean, you're
so
nice to people in general, but
I mean, I think we had a little bit of it's a little bit of everything here because I live in a what technically a lot of people would consider a Philadelphia suburb,
mhm.
but we're so close to a lot of farmland areas that it is also very small townish.
Yeah.
And so, but put that smack dab in the middle of New Jersey, which
Mhm.
is not known for its pleasantries.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. So I hear.
So, yeah, so, I mean, I think people have generally been nice
Hmm.
around here.
And not to say that Californians are nice, we just keep to ourselves. There's just not that
Yeah,
essence of community,
I
you
don't
know.
think we keep to ourselves very much around here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you talk to people that you're in line with, and you
Well,
know,
for instance, you see those shows where like, what would you do if somebody was getting attacked by a crazy lady in a wheelchair? And people are like, oh, and they'll show people reacting, and if it was
yeah, yeah,
here in Southern California, it would be like, walk off,
whatever.
you
Yeah,
know?
no, that's not here, and so I don't know. You guys have a lot of paid firefighters and stuff like that out there?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So we're not so much with the paid.
yeah.
We have a very, very small paid staff of those types of emergency personnel, and the rest are volunteers.
Mhm.
So pretty much you're not getting helped unless somebody helps you.
Right, right, right. Was it Good Samaritan laws and things like that?
Yeah,
Right?
so
Where
I
if
mean,
you're,
like, and like the nearest fire departments and the nearest police departments and things are very far away. So like the
no.
area where I grew up, we didn't have our own police. We had the state police.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and they were like, 10, 15 miles away. and they're not coming to call out on like your standard stuff. You know, they don't
Not a lot
really
of.
come out when it's really important.
I'm guessing not a lot of people got pulled over for speeding or running a red light or something, right?
That depended on what part of town you were in, but yeah, it's not as often, for sure.
See that here being a firefighter is a career. You get paid.
Hey, we have some of that, but it's not. There's not as many paid positions like there's easily 4 to 6 times as many volunteers as there are paid.
And I think for me, it's a grass is greener type thing. Having lived in Southern California and my entire life.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, I think, well, look at the small towns. It must be super nice over there. We have a couple of
pretty much. I mean, I've been to a lot of different suburbs. I think they're pretty much all the same, or very similar.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your people that are standoffish. You're gonna have your people that are involved. You're gonna have your busybodies. You're gonna have a wide variety of people.
Mm-hmm.
Every area that I've been to, they all look pretty much the same.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, certainly in Southern California, the big difference will be the lack of change in climate.
Yeah.
Lack of seasons, like no snow. I think that might actually contribute to some of what you're talking about, because here, at least in my home, right, we gotta help each other shovel snow and do all of those things.
A real sense of community.
If you want to get it done, yeah. I mean, you don't have that, right?
No. I mean, we don't shovel anything, really.
Right.
It doesn't rain. We're in a drought.
Right. It's not like, even if you have earthquakes, you're not talking like you don't have the types of tragedies that we've had here on the East Coast, like Sandy and.
Well, I mean, we've had pretty big earthquakes in the past, and even then, we relied mostly on the police and fire departments to go and save the people. I don't know if we necessarily volunteered ourselves for that, but again, it wasn't near me. It was either in San Francisco or in the Valley, where I'm not really near. So if there was tragedy over there that happened, that was a natural.
But I think we're also more densely populated.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of spread out. It doesn't feel like we're spread out, but I mean, we do have a lot of landmass for sure.
You have a ton of landmass. I mean, we have this little tiny amount of landmass and a whole crap load of people in it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're so spread out. I mean, there was one congressman who wanted to separate California into 6 different states.
Because it's big.
Yeah, we're huge. We're huge. Yeah, no, certainly.
Humongous. I mean, it's like the whole freaking coast.
Yeah, which we're proud of, and makes us boisterous and again brown.
Yes.
Anyway, this is my kind of tan. But anyway, there you go. That's what. We'll end it there. Our eras, past and future. Whatever, it looks like we kind of don't have, you specifically don't have like a specific era you'd want to be in, other than to see the massive evolution of the human race.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I am just blinded by television and think that the 50s and the 20s were the best. Flappers, and jazz era stuff, Fantastic stuff. Well, anyway, okay. Well, that's good. That's all. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, one viewer, for viewing us today. I know who you are, and I'll give you a shout out on the next show. So thank you for watching us today. We'd love to hear some feedback and know what your era is or was. Write to us feedback.
Or will be.
Or will be. Dun, dun, dun. Back when we were feedback at backwhenpodcast.com. You can also follow us on the Twitters at backwhenpodcast. You can find Shelly at Shelly. It's this one at Shelly Ann 72, right?
Yep, Shelly Ann 72.
if you see the video, you can see it's right there. Find me at Sorta Geek. Josh will be back sometime next week, I think. Who knows? But I lied. 8 o'clock is not the time we'll be recording. It'll be 7 o'clock Pacific Standard. So check us out then. We should be starting around that time, and you can get to see us and hear us live, and you can comment and tell us how horrible we are or how great we are. Hopefully great. And until next time, hope you all have great memories, great nostalgia, and we'll talk to you all then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stand here while the air things goes out.